You know, so what pisses me off is these motherfuckers that are worldly. You know, they fucking.
Wait, anyways, how about...
Shh, I'm talking. No. This is what pisses me off. These motherfuckers think that they can marry a bunch of fucking bitches, man. I don't fucking like that shit, man. I don't like seeing these niggas coming up in here to America and having mad fucking wives. This shit ain't right, bro. Okay? It's not right. And I saw this motherfucker talking about trying to fuck some other bitch. And he is like, oh, in my religion, I can have as many wives as I want. And I'm like, yo, this fucking, no, you can't, man. You know, like, the Bible doesn't, it speaks against that, you know. This is like, people are trying to use excuses to fucking do whatever the fuck they want, you know. I'm not against, you know, the people who are Muslim. I'm not fucking racist and shit. But I don't like, you know, the idea of sin, you know. Why? Because Jesus and God say, you know, it's not right. You know, like, it's not right to be gay. It's not right to have a bunch of wives. It's not right to rape children. It's not right to do stupid shit, man. And reason why is because you're supposed to go against your own temptations. You know, you're supposed to go against the temptations, and there's reasons why it's wrong. It goes against natural order. You know, if you have one wife and you try to get with another wife, do you think that pleases your own wife? Do you think that that makes her happy?
No, that breaks
You know?
your heart actually to having a bunch of women.
You know, so what else? You know, it's not right. You know, if you don't want to be with this woman or whatever, you need to marry some other woman. That's the way it needs to be. You can try to marry another woman, she'll be mad about it, and it's not right that you know, like, this religion idea is trying to say, like, okay, well, I'm the man and I'm stronger and better than you, and I can have as many wives as I want, and you basically at that point you're treating your wife like shit, you know. I don't believe in worldliness, you know. I don't believe.
Well, you know you're not.
I'm not a fucking. I'm not a player. I am.
You're not.
I am, bro, man, look. So, basically, I'm not a fucking player, you know. If I wanted to, I could be a player, but I'm not, you know. Like, why am I not a player? Because I believe that if you mess with somebody, you're taking a piece away from you with that person, or you're taking a piece away from them, you know. And it's gonna, like, hurt you, or it's gonna hurt that person in some way. Now, some people don't think like that, you know, and I just don't know how to not think like that, you know. Like, I wish I could be like that, where, like, it doesn't matter. But in order for me to do that, I had to kill a big part of me. I had to be very, like, emotionless, stop being so emotional of a person. I gotta stop being me, man. I gotta, like, just not give a fuck. And to do that, I had to just start fucking mad bitches. Like, I would just be like, okay, I'm gonna fuck this bitch and I'm not gonna care about her and I'm moving on to the next. But what if, you know, there was a potential that she could have been the one, you know, like, why am I fucking that up, you know? So the potential of her being the one is there, but because I'm not gonna care about what she does or how she feels or whatever, she's gonna go and fuck around with other niggas and I'm gonna go and fuck around with other bitches. So right there, I'm fucking up that person that should have been with me. Adrian, what's wrong with you, man? So, right there, you know, you're messing up the person you could have been with, and you're destroying her temple. You know, I believe your body is your temple, you know, and so, you know, it's just bullshit, man. Like, people are doing stuff like that. Like, if you get with somebody, you should marry that person, you know, that's what I think. But, you know, like, we're living in a time where that's not true. So, we're supposed to experiment. I just find it hard to do, you know. There's, you know, everyone's a sinner, you know. I'm not better than anybody. Everyone has their own sin. So there's ways where I sin too that, you know, there's a reason why I'm not even messing around as much, you know. So, oh my god. So that's that, you know. So here we go. Here it says, you know, should a man have more than one wife? Okay, I'm going to read this to you, or maybe I should let this motherfucking app read it to you. Spectator. Let Spectator read it. How do you do this speech, right? Start speaking.
Polygamy is a common practice in Africa and among Muslim-believing people. It is the practice of a man having 2 or more wives. It has been practiced almost as long as man has been on earth.
So
Since polygamy has been here a long time,
okay,
many people think it is alright. Is that true? No. Sin has been with men longer than polygamy. Is sin alright? No. Just because something has been here a long time does not make it right. For a thing to be right, it has...
Speaking. Let's go to this. How do you change the voice? Maybe
I don't know. Maybe voice.
You go to apps. You go to these apps. But I'll do that later. So I'm gonna just put it.
What is God's attitude toward polygamy? God is the one who brought marriage into the world. He made the first man, Adam, Genesis 1:26. He saw that it was not...
Okay, so I'm going to skip that and I'm going to speak for you. So, what is God's attitude towards polygamy? God is the one who brought marriage into the world. He made the first man, Adam. He saw that it was not good for Adam to be alone. He then made a wife for Adam. Notice God did not make wives for Adam. Okay? If he had wanted Adam to have more than one wife, he would have made him more than one. Maybe Lilith was one. I don't know. But Lilith was like, yo, fuck you, nigga. Anyways, you don't know who Lilith is, so I'm not going to talk about her right now. She's a vampire, and she's my mother. Okay, anyways. One was enough. God knows best. Man is different. In his different cultures have brought many ideas about marriage into the world. Some of man's ideas agree with God's plan. Some of man's ideas do not agree with God's plan. This is true with polygamy. Polygamy is a man-made idea. It is not in agreement with God's plan for marriage. Anything that does not agree with that God has done or said is sin. God's plan is one man and woman, wife for life. Genesis 2. There are many examples of polygamy in the Bible. The first person to be a polygamist was Lamech. So, let's go to where it says, in Genesis 2, there is where Jesus says something about marriage. I'm gonna Google what does it say. What does Jesus say about having? Oh, okay. What does Jesus say about having many wives? Okay. Here goes. And he shall not acquire many wives for himself, lest his heart turn away, nor shall he require for himself excessive silver and gold. So it says this in Deuteronomy 17:17. So we have to look up the passage. Where does it say that? It says, legal decisions by priests and judges. Okay. Laws concerning Israel's kings. Okay. So, only he must not acquire many horses for himself or cause the people to return to Egypt in order to acquire many horses, since the Lord has said to you, you shall never return that way again, and he shall not acquire many wives for himself, lest his heart turn away, nor shall he acquire for himself excessive silver and gold. So see, here it says that, it's saying that, you know what it's saying. Okay. So, here we go. But because of the temptation to sexual immorality, each man should have his own wife and each woman her own husband. There you go. So, that's in the New Testament. Okay. I want to look up where Jesus is talking about this. It's okay, here goes. And Pharisees came out to him and tested him by asking, is it lawful to divorce one's wife for any cause? He answered, have you not read that? This is Jesus they're talking about. Angel, can you shut that trash burger up? Have you not read that he who created them from the beginning made them male and female and said, Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and hold fast to his wife, and what? And hold fast, what? And hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let not man separate. They said to him, why then did Moses command one to give a certificate of divorce and to send her away? Now we're gonna look into this, where it said this, right? To see what he says about it. He says, they said to him, that's why I said to lower it. They said to him, he said to them, because of your hardness of heart, Moses allowed you to divorce your wives, but from the beginning it was not so. And I say to you, whoever divorces his wife except for sexual immorality and marries another commits adultery. The disciples said to him, if such is the case of a man with his wife, it is better not to marry. But he said to them, not everyone can receive this saying, but only those to whom it is given. For there are eunuchs who have been so from birth, and there are eunuchs who have been made eunuchs by men. I don't even know what that means. So let's look up what eunuchs means. Look up eunuchs. And there are eunuchs who have made themselves eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. Let the one who is able to receive this receive it. A man who has been castrated, especially one employed to guard the woman's living areas at an oriental court. Okay, a man who has been castrated, especially in the past, one employed. Okay, so I guess an ineffectual person, a nation of political eunuchs. So I don't know what this eunuch bullshit means, but I can look it up on Google too. I can highlight it, and I can search Google for eunuchs. A man who has been castrated. What the fuck does this mean? Generally refers to a man who has been castrated, typically early enough in his life for this change to have major hormonal consequences. In Latin, the words blah blah blah. So I guess it's a person who cannot have fucking sex. Whatever. So basically Jesus is saying it's not right to, marry a one girl or to divorce her. It also, I read somewhere else that says if you divorce your wife, you cause her to be an adulteress, which means basically a player in some way or whatever. So anyways, back to where I was going with this shit here. Okay, alright, so Jesus is speaking against it. Now, this is why it's bad, okay? Anything is sin. There are examples of polygamy in the Bible. The first person to be a polygamist was Lamech. He lived 6 generations after Adam. He was a murderer. Nothing good is said about him, okay? Abraham was a polygamist. His wife Sarai was unable to have children. She gave her slave Hagar to Abraham's wife. Hagar had children for Abraham. Sarah then became jealous of Hagar. This marriage was then full of troubles. Another polygamist was Esau. He was the firstborn of Isaac and Rebekah. Esau married two Hittite women. They caused much of grief to Isaac and Rebekah. And polygamist marriages affect more than just the man and his wives. See? So the firstborn was Isaac and Rebekah. So Esau married two Hittite women. They caused much grief to Isaac and Rebekah. Okay. He was the firstborn of Isaac and Rebekah. Adrian, the doors! I got it. Don't worry, I can put it down. Oh my god. So, next, right? King Solomon had 700 wives. How do you do that? Princess and 300 concubines. Damn it. So what the fuck? I don't even know what concubines are. I think those are women who lost their husbands. So basically, when you add it together, he had 1,000 fucking wives. Wow. His wives turned his heart away from God. His downfall as a king was a result of his practice of polygamy. Really? Let's see. It says, and he had 700 wives, princes, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. See? Now, remember what it said earlier about turning away his hearts. I'm not going to get into it. I don't know where it is. Let me see. It's, oh, it was like, I know where it was. Let me see. It was here. Alright? And it says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. And Lamech took 2 wives. The name of the one was Adan, Nanana. 7 women shall take hold of one man in that day, saying, we will eat. Okay, it's up here somewhere. It says, oh, yeah, he turns away his heart. Everyone who divorces his wife and marries another commits adultery, and he who marries a woman divorced from her husband commits adultery. So, he who marries a woman divorced from her husband commits adultery. So, basically, it's like cheating. Okay? So, now back to my little article here. Now, it says, so his downfall as a king was a result of his practice of polygamy. Nowhere in the Bible can we find polygamy doing any good. Everything that is said about it causes trouble. That has not changed. Today, polygamy still causes many marriage problems for those who practice it. Let us see some Bible principles that teach against the practice of polygamy. Genesis 2:23-24 says that a man shall leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife. God did not say that man was to be joined to his wives, plural. He said that man was to be joined to his wife. That is one and only one. Paul compares the husband and wife to Christ and the church. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ also is the head of the church. Okay? So, in Ephesians 1:2-3, we are told that the church is the body of Christ. There is only one body, so there is only one church. A man can have as many wives as Christ has churches. Christ has only one church, so a man can have only one wife. Nowhere does the Bible speak of a man, one being over wives, many, and that being right with God. Okay, so Matthew 19:3-9 speaks about divorce. Jesus Christ says that God never wanted man or woman to divorce, and the same is true with polygamy. God does not want a man to have more than one wife. Jesus said that a man shall leave his father and mother and shall cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. See? So, and they came unto the Pharisees trying to say some bullshit to him. And then he said, have you not read that you have made them from the beginning, made them male and female, and that so made one, whatever. Okay, so that's what he said. Okay, now in Timothy 2:3, we are told that an elder must be the husband of one wife. Why not 2 or more? If it is a good practice, then why should not a church leader be a polygamist? The reason is that God does not want that kind of marriage. Those who practice polygamy are sinning in God's eyes. They cannot be church leaders nor church members. See? Right there it says, the bishop therefore must be without reproach, the husband of one wife, temperate, sober-minded, orderly, given to hospitality, appointed to teach. You also notice that in the Old Testament too. Right over here. Right? Where am I? Here. It says that. And he shall not require many wives for himself, lest his heart turn away, nor shall he acquire from him excessive silver and gold. And here they're talking about a king. You understand? You say you should not. Legal decisions by priests and judges. So this is in the Old Testament. So laws concerning Israel's kings. So this is one of the laws, and it's right there. It says, and he shall not acquire many wives for himself, lest his heart turn away, nor shall he acquire for himself excessive silver and gold. So obviously they don't want the kings to have many wives. So sure, AJ. Okay. So yeah. Next. Now. Okay. Those who practice polygamy are sinning in God's eyes. They cannot be church leaders nor church members, like I just mentioned. Let us notice some problems with polygamy in the Bible. First, it causes strife and jealousy. We see it in the lives of those who practice it today. Joseph was sold into Egypt's slavery by his brothers because of jealousy from a polygamous marriage. Second, no man can be a proper husband by being a polygamist. Third, he can't be a proper father as God intended. If a man has many children, how can he be a father who brings them up? Chastening and admonition of the Lord. Ephesians 6:4. And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but nurture them in the chastening and admonition of the Lord. So what is admonition? Let's look that up. Look up admonition. Admonition is the lightest punishment under Scots law. It occurs when an offender who has been found guilty or who has pled guilty is not given a fine, but instead receives a lesser penalty in the form of verbal warning. Due to a minor infringement of the law, the conviction is still recorded. Really? Okay, so basically, chastening and admonition of the Lord. Whatever. Fourth, polygamy causes a man to go away from God rather than to closer to God. He should do nothing that causes us to go away from God. What must the polygamist do if he wants to become a Christian? First, he must realize that he is a lost sinner. He then must believe in Jesus Christ as the Son of God. Following his belief in Christ, he must repent. That means he must get rid of all his sin in his life and his marriage. He must get rid of all his wives. But the first one, after repenting, he must confess his faith, Christ as the Son of God. He is not ready for baptism. This baptism is a burial in water. Blah, 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 blah. Pause it and read the rest later. But I believe you have free will, so you can do whatever the fuck you want, you know? And you can have as many wives as you want, but if you don't feel it's right and your wife doesn't feel it's right, you're sinning against it. I believe there's such thing as karma, things like that. The way I believe in God, you know, is like I don't go by what the Bible says. I believe in reincarnation. I believe in karma. So I think that, you know, if you die, you're gonna probably live another life to learn some more lessons. You know, I think that, you know, life is a spiritual journey and God gives you chances. If you are not a repenter, which means if you don't seek forgiveness from God and stuff like that, then I think God will punish you, because God is our supreme mind. He is our higher being. He is like our lives all in one. And I think he is us at the same time, because there is no space and time for us. So, you know, for God there is no space and time. So he is us at the very end, and he is us at the very beginning. He is all of us. So therefore, he knows what is best for us. So as we know what is best for us. So it's like as if we arrived at the end and became God, and now we're gonna go back in time and look at ourselves and say what's best for ourselves to make ourselves the best. That's the way I think God works. Anyways, but whatever, you know, just peace out and later, guys. I'm done making this video. This is why I don't believe in you know, this idea of having many wives, and I feel like, you know, worldliness is bad. I wish I can sin. I wish I can be with a lot of girls. I don't know how, but maybe I can try to be a player. Maybe I can. I have free will. I can do whatever the fuck I want, you know? This is why I don't believe the Bible should stop you, as long as it's not hurting anybody, you know? So, you know, if I have an agreement with a girl to just, you know, be fucking around, and we have an agreement to be fucking around with other people, then that's fine. But I think that somebody's bound to get hurt, and you know, maybe one thing I would have to learn is to just not give a shit. You know, it's not always easy. Anyways, because girls play with your mind and do things to try to get you to whatever, worship them or be with them only. Anyways, that's the end of what I'm saying, you know, and that's why I think, you know, it's important that you find one girlfriend. That's it. Bye. That's why I'm kind of picky and looking at girls and saying, well, I want to pick one that's decent and nice for me, and you know, not just fuck around with anybody unless I know it's gonna be just a fuck around thing, like them putas. Anyways, peace out. I'm talking a lot of shit. Bye.